Okay, let's dive into this. It's really quite a staggering journey we're talking about today.
It really is.
Going from a single-parent household, tough streets in Akron, Ohio, to hitting a $1.2 billion net worth, and crucially, while still playing at the absolute top of his game in the NBA.
Yeah, still dominating. And when you look at it, the numbers, the timeline,
Yeah.
it's not just, a successful athlete's career.
Yeah.
It feels much more like a blueprint, meticulously planned.
Right, an economic blueprint.
Yeah.
But what's so interesting and what our sources really highlight is how much focus was on the court, the points, the championships.
Absolutely. The highlights, the dunks. But behind the scenes, that's where this, hidden empire was being built, brick by brick.
So that's our mission today, really. To unpack that hidden empire, we're going to decode these 5 sort of silent foundations. The strategy he used to go from just being a very, very well-paid player to a genuine mogul. And for you listening, this is kind of a shortcut, maybe, to understanding those silent strategies, the ones that build lasting wealth, and how he just completely sidestepped the usual athlete endorsement path.
He didn't just sidestep it, he kind of rewrote the rules. And honestly, when you dig into the sources, the choices he made off the court, they might end up being seen as more valuable, more impactful than anything he did on the court. It's about foundation over flash.
Okay, let's start there. Foundation number 1, this is the big pivot, right? Equity over endorsement.
Yes, this is the engine.
Most athletes, they chase the quick money, the commercials, the endorsement deals, big checks up front.
And it makes sense, short term. But James had this fundamental insight, this different way of thinking. He saw the difference between just being a face, a spokesperson, and being an owner.
He changed the conversation at the negotiating table, didn't he?
Completely. It wasn't just, how much will you pay me? It became, the core question was, why am I building your empire with my influence when I could own a piece of it myself?
That's the shift from income to capital.
Exactly. Durable capital. And the classic example, the one everyone points to, is Beats by Dre.
Right. He wasn't just wearing the headphones and commercials. He was in early as an investor.
Precisely. An equity partner. So when Apple comes along in 2014, buys Beats for, $3 billion.
Yeah, huge number.
James reportedly walks away with something like $30 million, maybe more. And that payday, zero connection to basketball points or assists, purely from ownership, betting on the brand itself.
Okay, so that makes me think about Blaze Pizza. Much smaller scale initially, right? The sources say he put in less than $1 million.
Yeah, tiny compared to Beats.
But now that stake is worth reportedly over $40 million. How does that happen? How does less than $1 million become $40 million in, pizza? What was the leverage there beyond just cash?
Well, that's where his brand power becomes an asset, not just a promotional tool. He didn't just write a check. He brought instant cultural heat, massive marketing momentum just by being involved.
So his name itself was the accelerator.
Totally. He used his platform, his connection with millions of fans to drive attention and, customers to Blaze organically. He wasn't just a silent partner. He was a catalyst. He understood his influence was worth equity. He basically said, my association will turbocharge your growth, and I want stock for that.
Smart. Very smart. And then the ultimate power play, maybe. The Nike deal, 2015, the lifetime deal.
The lifetime deal. Estimated over $1 billion, largest in Nike's history.
Huge headline number. But the sources stressed something deeper was going on.
Absolutely. It wasn't just about getting the biggest check. He was negotiating for long-term back-end value, things like co-creation rights, royalty leverage, maybe even potential brand ownership down the line.
Meaning he's not just getting paid to wear the shoes.
Exactly. He gets a piece of the success of the entire line. He has a say in its direction. He's building the empire around the shoes, not just acting as a billboard to them, again, thinking like an owner.
Okay, so if you own assets through equity, and you own a piece of the platform like with Nike, the next logical step seems to be controlling the message itself.
You got it. Which brings us to Foundation 2, the SpringHill blueprint. This is all about controlling the narrative.
The thinking being, why let ESPN or whoever tell my story or any athlete's story when we can own the platform that tells it?
Precisely. So he co-founds the SpringHill company with Maverick Carter. And the name itself, SpringHill, that's from his childhood apartment complex in Akron. It's rooted in his story.
And it's not just one thing, right? It's structured.
Yeah, it merged 3 parts. Uninterrupted, which focuses on athlete empowerment content, the robot company, which is more of a brand consultancy, and then SpringHill Entertainment, the main production studio.
And it got serious backing. By 2021, $100 million investment from giants like Nike, Epic Games, Fenway Sports Group.
Which tells you this wasn't seen as just a side project. They're making big moves, Space Jam, A New Legacy, The Shop on HBO, real high-profile content.
Okay, but let's address the elephant in the room. The sources mention that in 2023, SpringHill reportedly posted a loss. $28 million loss on $104 million in revenue. Critics pounced on that.
They did. Called it a failure, a vanity project losing money.
So help me understand that. If the goal is building this massive wealth empire, how does a $28 million loss fit in? Is that really strategic, or was it just a tough year for a media startup?
Well, it's a fair question. But you have to look at it through the lens of long-term asset building in the media space. A $28 million loss, while significant, isn't actually that unusual for a company scaling aggressively, buying up intellectual property, building production capacity.
So you're saying it's the cost of building the infrastructure?
Kind of. Think of it as investing in the megaphone. He was buying ownership of influence, planting seeds for decades of controlling his own narrative, and potentially many others. It wasn't about hitting quarterly profit targets in year 3 or 4. It was about owning the platform for the next 30 years.
Ah, okay, so it's like buying the factory, not just selling the first batch of goods. It gives him that ultimate leverage, shaping his image, driving conversations without needing anyone else's permission.
He owns the mic. That's invaluable.
Okay, that makes sense. And that desire for control, for influence on a bigger stage, that flows nicely into Foundation 3, global stakes. Owning the game literally even when he's off the court.
Yeah, he wasn't content just being the king of basketball. He aimed for a seat at the global sports ownership table while still playing.
And the vehicle for that was Fenway Sports Group, FSG. He became a partner in 2021.
Right, a minority owner, but a partner nonetheless in one of the biggest sports conglomerates on the planet. This wasn't a small move. This was about global influence.
And FSG's portfolio is just, wow. You've got the Boston Red Sox in MLB, Liverpool FC in the English Premier League, massive global brand.
Huge.
The Pittsburgh Penguins in the NHL, even a stake in NASCAR with Roush Fenway Racing. It's incredibly diversified.
Across sports, across continents. Baseball, soccer, hockey, racing. He's tapping into different fan bases, different revenue streams year-round.
And historically significant too, right? First active NBA player to hold that kind of ownership in a global multi-sport group.
Correct. And FSG's valuation, as of 2025, sources put it over $10 billion. So his equity stake is worth well into 9 figures, and he doesn't have to score a single goal or hit a home run.
But I have to push back slightly. For someone laser-focused on his NBA legacy, couldn't this FSG stake be seen as maybe a bit scattered?
No.
Or is it just groundwork for eventually buying an NBA team when he retires? What's the immediate play here?
I think the immediate play is the access and the diversification. It gives him instant access to, well, a different class of deals, global opportunities, and it's about durable capital outside of basketball. Think about it. Buying an NBA team post-retirement is incredibly expensive, and it ties up huge capital in one asset, one lead.
Right, geographically limited too.
Exactly. With FSG, he bought into an existing diversified machine that generates revenue across multiple continents 365 days a year. Plus, you see mentions of his involvement in Major League Pickleball, potential interest in a Las Vegas NBA expansion team. It shows he's thinking bigger, owning the infrastructure of sports, not just playing in one league.
Infrastructure and stability. That seems like a good transition to Foundation 4. Real estate armor, the $100 million bet on something tangible.
Yes. The quiet foundation. In a world obsessed with stocks, crypto, NFTs, he's been steadily acquiring land and property. It's like his invisible shield.
Invisible armor, yeah. Against what? Inflation, market crashes.
All of the above. Real estate is that classic long-term hedge. Brand deals can vanish, markets can tank, but land endures. It's durable capital in its most physical form. His known portfolio is around $100 million as of 2025.
And it's not just random houses, is it? The placements seem very deliberate.
Oh, absolutely strategic. You've got the $23 million place in Brentwood, LA, then the $36.8 million Beverly Hills estate, Katharine Hepburn's old place, no less.
Wow.
And then, importantly, multiple properties back in Akron, Ohio, including a $9.2 million home that sort of anchors his connection there, his whole philanthropic base.
So LA for business, entertainment, status, appreciation.
Right. Essential market presence. Yeah. Beverly Hills for that next level of status and asset appreciation. And Akron is legacy, its roots, It might even provide, tax advantages for his foundation work potentially.
So it's portfolio diversification again, but across a different asset class, one that's not tied to his NBA performance or media ventures.
Exactly. He rarely talks about it, which is part of the strategy. It's about permanence. The thinking is when everything else fluctuates, your land is still there. It's the ultimate safety net.
Permanence. Okay, that leads us perfectly to the final pillar, Foundation 5, the legacy engine. This seems different. It's about turning social impact into capital.
This is maybe the most fascinating piece because it elevates the whole thing. It's not just charity tacked on at the end. It's woven into the fabric of his billionaire identity. It's strategic legacy building.
And the centerpiece is the I Promise School in Akron, launched in 2018.
Yes. And it's not just a school building. It's holistic infrastructure. Free tuition, sure, but also free bikes, meals, GED programs, and job placement for parents, even housing support. His foundation has poured over $40 million into this model.
It's incredibly comprehensive. And his consistency on social issues, like co-founding More Than a Vote in 2020, it builds this reputation. But how does building a school, being socially active, how does that directly translate into financial capital, into better deals?
It creates what you could call reputation capital, deep, authentic trust. And in business, especially at that level, trust is maybe the ultimate currency. Think about it. Brand trackers, sources say, consistently ranked him at the top 5 most positively perceived athletes globally in 2025.
Okay.
And that perception wasn't just based on his points per game. It was performance and principle.
So what does that positive perception buy him in a negotiation?
It buys him leverage. It means he commands a higher brand premium. When he sits down with Nike or FSG or any major partner, his proven integrity, his commitment to community, it allows him to demand more. He can push for equity stakes, for creative control, for platform ownership, because partners know his brand isn't just popular, it's seen as principled. It's more durable, less risky.
So the social impact work actually de-risks his brand for partners, allowing him to demand better terms.
Precisely. He built a legacy that's harder to tarnish, harder to cancel. It's about integrity over immediacy. And that makes him the architect of something generational.
That ties it all together beautifully. Integrity over immediacy. He didn't chase the spotlight. He built the foundation. That $1.2 billion, it wasn't an accident. It was deliberate, quiet, strategic, focused on ownership, controlling the story, global diversification, real assets, and that powerful legacy engine.
He always shows patience, depth over dazzle.
The deeper truth really seems to be, in a world that's just obsessed with speed, with getting there now, he played the long game, the game behind the game, for permanence, not just for applause.
And quietly building while everyone watched the scoreboard. That's how he became a billionaire while still playing.
So here's something for you, the listener, to maybe think about. A final thought to chew on. The empires that make the most noise aren't always the ones that last the longest. Often, the most durable ones start quietly, built brick by brick, with a plan maybe only you can see at first. So reflect on that. Which pillar are you building right now for your own permanence? Is it ownership? Is it influence? Tangible assets? Legacy? Are you building for the short term, or are you building something durable?
Keep building. Quietly, maybe.
Until next time.